Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in. Welcome to the All the Smoke MMA show, the All the Smoke podcast. I appreciate you guys for being here. Basically, I've been meaning to start a podcast for a while, a big excuse to yap about MMA, especially now. There's a lot of shit going down, a lot of exciting new fights announced. Some duds as well. We're going to be talking about it, though. We're going to be previewing the UFC 309 card today, talking mostly about the main event, but we're going to be touching a few fights on the main card, and then we're going to be talking about a lot of the new fights that were announced, whether it be for 310, fighting at Macau, etc., etc. I'm excited to start this podcast, man. The MMA show, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm excited for it. Deal with me though, guys, or deal with me here because a lot of them, the first few episodes are going to be pretty short. I don't really have a software or a camera yet that can kind of do recordings over an hour. So sadly, this is going to be it. Probably around 30, 40-minute episodes, hopefully, just to start off. But, yeah, I think I already said this, but timestamps in the description. All right, we're going to be previewing UFC 309 here. I have the card pulled up in front of me, dude. Let's just get this out of the way, all right? Let's just talk about Jones versus Miocic. I feel like I got a decent amount to say about this shit, dude. And most of it's not good, to be honest with you guys. I have no idea how excited you guys are about this fight. Let me know in the comments. Jesus, dude, I just feel like I don't care. And it feels disrespectful because when Stipe was around, I was a big Stipe fan, actually. He was one of the fighters that actually got me into the sport. I was a big fan of his when I was first starting to get into fighting. And, you know, all the way up until the Ngannou knockout, you know, haven't seen him about 3 or 4 years. I'm rooting for him, dude. Like, this is one of those timelines where, like, you got Edwards getting the fucking head kick KO. You got Strickland beating Izzy. That one makes a little more sense, but you know what I'm saying. You got Pena beating Nunes. Like, these upsets, as of late, all right, they're fucking possible. Like, if Roundtree knocks out Pereira next weekend, I might just stop fucking watching at this point, dude. Christ. But Miocic beating Jones, this is someone who's not a Jones fan, dude. What a big fuck you on the way out of here, because Miocic is retiring no matter what. And I know DC has gone on record lately, and a lot of people have been talking about where he says that if one of these guys pulls out and Aspinall has to step in, neither guy is going to be willing to face Aspinall. I think to an extent that's pretty true. I think with Jones, I don't think he would fight Aspinall. You know, they say backup fighter, but is it really part of the fucking contract? You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's been proven very clearly that Jones is not here to give us what we want. It's not. This is, you know what, dude? All fucking credit to the guy. As frustrating as it is to have him kind of just wasting around, stalling the heavyweight division for 2 years. We didn't get that Ngannou fight. It's been weird and interesting and very dragged out, Jones's return. It was super exciting when the fight with Gane happened, but... And man, if this fight just happened last November like it was supposed to, everything would be fine. You know, Aspinall would have won the interim title the same night. Jones probably would have retired. Miocic probably would have retired. And then, you know, Tom would have ended up doing his thing. And he'd be the undisputed champion. I think Stipe is going to take the fight no matter what, whether it's Jones or Aspinall, because at the end of the day, he already had to wait an extra year. And he's looking to retire. And I don't think he's going to wait another half a year minimum just to fight this guy. I feel like he wants to be done. Dude, but I really hope he fucking pulls this off. No matter what, though, I'm an Aspinall fan, man, and I really do believe that this guy is just going to be the undisputed champion by literally the hour after this card. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if Jones wins, he's retiring, man. You know, as upsetting as it is, you know, and Dana could say whatever he wants about how, you know, like, oh, what was the question? What was the question? Yeah, John Jones is fighting. John Jones, I can guarantee that this is going down. It's going to be badass. Like, I already know what this post-fight pressure is going to be like, dude. We're not going to get Aspinall versus either one of these guys. You know what, though? I feel like a lot of people are talking about, like, what if this fight doesn't happen? I feel like it's going to. Just a hunch. But if it doesn't, dude, who knows what the fuck is going to happen? My biggest problem with this fight, though, dude, I'm just not excited for it. Aspinall versus one of these guys is so much more intriguing, especially against Jones. Aspinall versus Miocic, I'm not really super interested in, but honestly, I'd be more interested in that than Jones versus Miocic. I don't know what it is, dude. All right, like if I can make a tier list and I had to put on the rest of the 2024 fights, I think Lucas Tracy might have done this, or Bedtime. Somebody fucking did this. They made like a tier list where they had like the remaining fights of 2024, like the big ones, and they like ranked them in a tier or some shit. I feel bad now. I forgot who it was, but fuck, dude. This is a C or a D for me, and that feels disrespectful because you got heavyweight title, main event, John Jones and Stipe Miocic, two of some of the greatest fighters of all time. But fuck, dude, it's just, if this was 3 years ago, I can't even explain to y'all how excited I would be. If this was 2 years ago, I'd be hyped for it. Last year, I was like kind of into it, kind of not. And then I just feel like now it's just too late. It's just one of those things where it's just too late, man. The same thing can kind of be said about the co-main, but I'll get to that in a second. I don't know. It's frustrating because this is just stalling the division. It's unfortunate because like John Jones is the guy on the Mount Rushmore for pretty much everybody, and most people think he's the best fighter of all time. Pound for pound number one right now? No, he's not, but the greatest fighter of all time, I would say most people agree. And it just sucks that this is like happening because he's so close to just being fucking done. You know, but it's just stalling, man. It's stalling the division. It's holding it up. Aspinall, like Dana was saying how he's like climbing the ranks. He's knocked out, I think, like 5 or 6 of the top 10 or submitted them. And, submitted Volkov. I don't know other than that, but fuck. Aspinall is just the man right now, and I'm sure it's frustrating for him, but, you know, not as frustrating as it probably was for Chandler waiting for McGregor. Do you like this little transition going to the co-main, too? Because we're talking about Big Mike himself, dude. Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Okay, one more thing, by the way, about Stipe versus John. I'm sorry. It's pretty ridiculous this year about who we're giving title shots to. I think it's ridiculous, dude. You had the Cheeto one, which, like, I guess it kind of makes sense because they wanted Sean to redeem the loss. I feel like that's pretty much 90% of the reason why they did that. They just, you know, Sean had that 14, 15, and 1, whatever it was on his record, and, you know, he wanted to keep the undefeated shtick going. And you know, it was a fluke loss, and I think it was say whatever you want, but all kudos to Cheeto, whatever the fuck. But I think the real fight was that second fight. He got fucking schooled. You know what I mean? And maybe like a good moment or two from Cheeto, but I don't fucking know. Ironic as fuck, I got the poster in the background. God damn it, dude. Dude, me and my buddies were just at the bar, and we just straight up, I was just like, it was like this crumpled up poster just right above the pisser, and I was like, you know what, dude? I was like, you know what? I need that before I get out of here. Fucking loser, dude. The Khalil Roundtree one is fucking absurd. It's ridiculous. I'm not an Ankalaev fan, you know what I mean? And I think Roundtree is a lot more fun. He's a badass fighter, but dude, do rankings not matter? You had the Usyk title shot as well. You know what I mean? And, like, I guess that one makes a little sense because, like, flyweight had bum fucking no contenders. I mean, there were contenders, but they all got beat by Pantoja, or now they all got to fight each other. I mean, oh, God, I feel like there's another big one I'm missing. But now you have the Stipe one. I don't know, dude. It's just... It's very undeserved for a lot of this. You know what I mean? It's like, what are the rankings for if we're giving the 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, the number ranked like 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, like, there's people that like are coming off of losses that are getting title shots. It's pretty, you know, oh, the Poirier one too. But the Poirier one kind of makes sense because like they really, like Gaethje had just lost and Arman had just fought. So they really didn't have anybody. So like, they just really needed a contender, so I guess that kind of makes sense. They just scrambled. It's like Poirier just had an amazing win, and it was a really good win over BSD, but still, it's just been very bizarre this year with title shots. But again, all due respect to Poirier in that one, I feel like that one makes a lot more sense than the other ones because they did what they had to do. Anyways, dude, enough rambling about the main event. Christ, been a few minutes on that. All right, Oliveira versus Chandler. So... did not get a smooth transition into this one. God damn it, though, dude. I gotta really feel for Chandler because I think he knows that everything is riding on this fight. I think he knows that he wasted 2 or 3 years. He put a lot of hype into that. The Ultimate Fighter, going on fucking WWE shows, having to talk about it in every damn interview, just training around this guy, waiting for this guy, waiting for the payday, and it just never happens. I'm so glad he moved on, though. I'm so glad. If he gets the fight or not, you know, rest in peace, and I'm sure that Dana is an understanding guy. I'm sure he might add a little bit of extra to Chandler's check for this one. Like, hey, you fucking waited. Here you go, little guy. Because Dana has openly felt bad that Chandler just did not want to fucking fight and he just wanted to wait. And you know what? For people that are shitting on Chandler, like, he should have fought. Dude, how can you blame the guy when you have millions of dollars just hanging above your face in a fight that he very easily, not easily, but there's a good chance that he would have won. I feel like it was kind of a pick 'em kind of fight, but like I could easily see Chandler taking that one. It is what it is. Now he has a harder fight with a less of a large paycheck in Charles Oliveira, and I understand that Chandler kind of made the first fight competitive, and I'm excited for this fight. I am. It's a fun fight, but it just makes no sense. This is a fight that happened 3 years ago. If it happened 2 years ago, or I reckon who talks like that, dude? I reckon even if it was like 1 year ago, I would be more excited. But again, it's similar to the main, where it's just it happened. We're doing this a bit too late. You know what I mean? Like, we saw these guys fight, and it's going to be a super fun, exciting fight. It's going to draw people because I don't think Nickal or the main event is going to really get people going on this fight. Fuck, dude. Like, Chris Weidman and Eric Anders are about to be on the main card. You know, they had to throw in a banger. They had to get Chandler a fight pretty quick. Oliveira has been in need of an opponent. I thought Dan Hooker would be pretty good, and I felt like that made a lot more sense, but we're probably going to get Hooker versus Gaethje or Hooker versus somebody. Besides that, this is a very winnable fight for Charles. Chandler is... I don't think the 2 years off is going to help him, dude, because he was such an active fighter before. Maybe that was bad for him. Who knows? But I don't know. He's 38, and I'm not saying Oliveira is the youngest fucking guy because he's clearly starting the decline. As sad as that is, God, dude, I'm such a big-ass Charles fan, too, so it hurts. But he's just, you know, he's not going to be back in the title picture anytime soon, as sad as that is to say. And so I guess that led him to Michael fucking Chandler, dude. Stars align for this one. My early prediction, you know, you got to go with Charles. I mean, Chandler is going to have to be... Oliveira's going to have to incorporate some offensive wrestling into this one, some offensive grappling, not as much as being, you know, super great on the back. He gets knocked down easily, though. And that's the thing, though. If Chandler pounces on him, is Oliveira going to hold on and take advantage of Chandler pouncing and then start to take over on the ground like we have seen before? Or is this going to be Oliveira knocks him out again? Is this going to be Chandler gets him clean? I have no... Like, Chandler's going to need some fucking kind of miracle here, you know? I would say an 8 or 9 out of 10 worlds, I think Oliveira takes this one. I don't know if that's an exaggeration. I don't want to undermine Chandler's talents, but all the guys that have beaten Chandler are the guys that Oliveira has beaten. Like, Chandler beat Dan Hooker in an impressive debut, and he beat Tony Ferguson, one of the greatest knockouts of all fucking time. But he lost to Poirier, he lost to Gaethje, and he lost to Oliveira himself. You know, and Oliveira fucking... subbed Gaethje in 1 and subbed Poirier in 3. You know what I mean? I just think there's levels to this. Again, if this fight was 2 years ago, the rematch, you know, probably would be slightly more interested and probably would be a lot more competitive, especially betting odds wise. I think Charles is like a minus 280 right now. Might be 250, whatever the fuck. It's a high ass 200. He's a big favorite. I just see that number going up. And I can't blame him. It makes sense. So, again, not much else to say about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited for it. It just makes no sense. It just makes no sense, this fight. Nickal versus Paul Craig. Okay. This is a fight. Okay. This makes sense. I have seen people that are talking bad about this fight. I think it makes sense. I think finally, like, it's not a rank guy, but it's Paul fucking Craig. You know what I mean? Like, as much experience as it gets, and he's beaten big names. Like, basically, if you lose to Paul Craig, that means you're pretty fucking good. He's beaten Krylov, he's beaten Ankalaev, he's beaten Hill. Like, fucking insane. I know Allen just fucked him up. I don't know if that was Craig's last fight. No, that's right. I got his record right in front of me. He just lost to Barajo. That's right. By knockout. I fucking remember that now. That was nasty. All right. So, I don't know the betting odds. But from what I had heard on one of the betting odds sources, whatever the fuck, I don't think they have it up on DraftKings yet, which is what I use. So this is what I just heard. I heard Nickal right now is a minus 2,000 favorite, which is fucking absurd, dude. Which is fucking absurd because, I mean, look, is he going to be a favorite? Yeah. Is he probably going to win this fight? Yeah. Is this kind of favorable for him? kind of, sort of. I don't know. Paul Craig at the end of the day is the gatekeeper of the division. That doesn't make him not a threat, though. I would have said Nickal should be like a minus 200 or something like that. I mean, sue me. You know what I mean? I thought that would be pretty fair. No, dude. I don't know. Again, I don't know. It was on some fucking podcast. It was like an MMA betting show or whatever, and I forgot what it was now. But and again, maybe I'm talking to my ass. But either way, dude, I hope it's not true because that's fucking insane. And then you win nothing. You win nothing off of Nickal. Jesus Christ. But again, I think Paul Craig is a nice step up in competition. Not ranked, but someone who has so much experience, has been ranked, has fought elite contenders, and he's the gatekeeper. You know what I mean? I like this fight for Bo. I like the matchup. It's winnable for both guys. I think this is a nice test for Bo Nickal because everyone has been asking for him to get a test. And I honestly thought, I remember a month or two ago, there was a rumor of Bo having an opponent, and I fucking forgot who it was. But it was like one of those NPC records and shit. No disrespect to whoever it was. I forgot. I'm just remembering how I felt about it and how a lot of people felt like, oh, this is who Bo's fighting next. Like, he's still fighting cans, whatever the fuck. I'm one of the people that says you got to give Bo time, and you got to let him grow, get more experience, get a little bit more wins on the record. It doesn't have to be cans, but I still even thought, I was like, come on, though. Even I was saying, come the fuck on. But I think Paul Craig is the perfect step up. And if people are complaining about this fight, do you just not know Paul Craig? You know what I mean? This is a fun fight. Should it be the featured fight of this card? No. I think that's a red flag for the card because the rest of the card is Smith versus Reyes and then Weidman versus Anders. Smith versus Reyes could be fun, especially because I think a lot of us really want to see Reyes get a win here, and this is a very winnable fight for him. Also, yeah, this is going to be my transition. I don't have much to say about anything else to say about Nickal versus Craig. I'm excited for it. People are overhating it. It makes a lot of sense. And we're going to see elite grappling on display. Let's see if Nickal can hang with the big boys now. You know what I mean? I'm hyped for it. So yeah, Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith. You know, it's a good matchup. I remember when Reyes got his win over Kape, I suggested Johnny Walker versus Reyes, but I think this is a more winnable fight for Reyes. Not that Reyes couldn't beat Walker, the chinniest chin fighter of the division, possibly in the fucking UFC, dude. Now that Chanel is gone, Jesus. So Smith could win this fight. You know, I don't know what the odds are going to be, if they're out yet or whatever, but I would assume Smith is the dog here. And I love, if Reyes can get 2 wins in a row, I mean, 2024, dude, I feel like we're seeing a lot of comebacks this year. And Dominic Reyes, I am here for it. I'm not really a big Smith guy. I listen to the pod with him and Bisping, but he's got some ass takes, dude. But he's not a fighter I dislike. But I'm never really excited for an Anthony Smith fight. You know what I mean? He's always just that kind of gap filled on the card. I respect him for stepping up on a lot of last minute fights, and I respect him as a fighter, Jesus. But I'm just not a fan of the guy. This is a nice fight to have on the main card, but again, you know, with the main that we got, it's not going to draw the most eyes. And then I have nothing to say about Weidman versus Anders. I don't think the fact that is opening the main card. I don't know, dude. Call me a casual. I don't it just doesn't excite me. All right. So anyway, that's enough about 309. Let's talk about some of these upcoming fights that we got going on, dude. Let me get going here. All right, dude. Petr Yan versus Deiveson Figueiredo. This is the fight that I feel like everyone has been talking about since the day that Figgy just beat Chito Vera. I feel like this was the immediate matchup that most people were talking about. And I love when shit like this happens, dude. I feel like the matchmaking this year has been all over the place. It's either so good or so fucking bad. And this is one of those fights that it was clear from the fans that this was the fight to make, and they made it, and relatively quick too. Both these guys want to be active. Jan just fought in March. Figgy just fought in, was the card in August or? Yeah, it was early August. Okay, so a bit of a quick turnaround relatively for Figgy, but this is a very winnable fight for both guys. This is going to be for UFC Fight Night Macau, China-ish, if you will, for November 23rd, I believe. And yeah, November 23rd, it's going to be the main event, which I'm pretty sure is confirmed. This is such a winnable fight for both guys, and we're going to see a lot of great striking on display. And what really is interesting is because now we have clearly seen the power that Figgy carries in those hands. We saw it against Fon, and we clearly just saw it against Cheeto, the first guy to ever get a knockdown over him, which is fucking crazy considering the knee he just took from O'Malley and all the other crazy damage we've seen him take. So Figgy is serious here at bantamweight, man, and he's 3-0 right now at bantamweight, of course. A former champion. Like, this guy, if he beats Jan, I feel like the title shot is fair and the title shot is deserved. Now, if Jan wins, I wouldn't exactly say that he deserves a shot. You know, he lost to Sterling, O'Malley, and Dvalishvili 3 in a row. I know that the Sterling rematch was competitive, and I know that the fight against O'Malley, most people thought he won. He straight up got fucked up by Marab, but regardless. And then he just had a really great performance against Song Yadong. So, like, Jan is still in this despite the losses. You know what I mean? Like, you got to look at 2 out of 3 of those were really competitive fights. And now you have a fight against Figgy. I don't think we're going to see a finish in this one, but I definitely think it's going to be a spectacle. I definitely think it's going to be super fun on the feet. Figgy might try and take it to the ground a few times, but I feel like Jan will be able to hold his own. We saw Cheeto, and Cheeto has solid takedown defense, you know, but we saw him stuff a lot of Figgy's takedowns, especially in the second round, if I recall, when they fought in August. So, Jesus, I see Jan kind of doing the same. You know, I think this is just going to be a fight that's great in the feet. 5 rounds, thank fucking God. I love that this is 5 rounds. I'm really glad this is the main event. Yeah, I'm super excited for this one. Oezdemir versus Volkan Oezdemir, ranked number 6, versus Carlos Ulberg, ranked number 10, light heavyweights going at it. This is not the co-main. I forgot what the co-main was for this card. They just announced the whole main card for Macau just this week. But yeah, this is also going to be for November 23rd, UFC Fight Night Macau, light heavyweight. Dude, I'm very excited for this one, to be honest with you. Volkan just knocked the fucking lights out. I remember he just knocked the fucking lights out of Johnny Walker. I remember I was at work listening to this because I couldn't watch the fights. I just had to like listen. I had them just streaming. Yeah, I'm the guy that actually has fucking ESPN Plus, so I had that just playing, and I just heard them. Yeah, round 1 knockout. Commentary goes crazy. This fight opened up the main card too, and Walker. I had Walker winning this one. I had money on Walker, and it's just Oezdemir knocked his shit. I immediately whip out the phone. I'm fucking looking at this. Oh my god, dude! And I was like, no shot. I mean, it was a pick'em fight. And a solid amount of people thought Volkov was gonna win, so it wasn't like, it shouldn't have been like shocking, but like, this is a great win for Volkov. He just beat Gust. Okay, so I didn't watch the fight for this one, so I'm about to botch the fuck out of the name. But last September he beat Bogdan Guskov. Call me a casual, dude. Sue me, all right. I didn't catch that one. But impressive performance. Fucking round 1 sub. Lost to Krylov though. Right before that, got a win over Paul Craig. Before that, lost to Ankalaev. So he's kind of on that thing. I'm trying to paint y'all the picture. He wins one, he loses one, he wins one, he loses one. It seems like that is the trajectory that he's been on right now. But again, he is totally still in the game, man. You know what I mean? He's not the oldest fucking fighter. He's still in it. And again, if he can get 3 wins in a row, I mean, especially over, you got 2 of the wins being Johnny Walker and then a huge prospect in Carlos Ulberg, like, you know, you're kind of talking about you're 1 away from a title eliminator. You know what I mean? A title shot contention on the line. Here's the thing, though. I would assume that Ulberg is going to be a pretty sizable favorite. If I had to guess, he just had a really impressive knockout over Alonzo Minefield. I thought that was on the... I did not know it was on the St. Louis fight card. I swore that was on 301. I guess I'm tripping. Maybe it got moved or something. I don't know. But again, 12-second knockout. How the fuck can you beat that? And he's on a 6-fight win streak with 5 out of the 6 being fucking finished. So this guy's the real deal. This is a definitely fair step up in competition, you know, because Volkan has been around for a while. Again, former title contender. He's on a 2-fight win streak right now, and impressive. So I feel like this is a nice step up. Who was Ulberg supposed to fight? Was it Jamal Hill? I would have loved to see that fight. I thought it was way too quick of a turnaround for Hill, though. I would have loved to see full camp Hill, and rested Hill versus, I mean, who knows how much he recovered from the prayer fight, but I would have loved to see a rested Hill on that one. But regardless, so I think this is a good fight to make. Arguably a better fight because we're going to see, like, a fair step up without Ulberg going straight from, like, 10-3. Volkov's ranked number 6. I'm excited for this one, and we're going to see a finish for this one, dude. I'm excited for it. Up next, we're going to start getting into the... Oh, well, let me touch on this one because I don't really have much to say. I don't watch one championship, so not too much to say, but I should share. So for the November 9th Apex card, JL Meetschaert is going to be taking on DeRitter. I don't watch one, so I'm kind of just adding this because it's like it's a fight that was announced, and I am here to provide y'all the latest fights. So Meetschaert, though, just had an amazing win over Shabazi and was getting fucking cooked in the first round, but such an amazing comeback for that one. I was super fucking invested. I had money on Meetschaert as well, so to see him get that comeback, I was sweating for that one. But it's interesting because he wanted the Paul Craig fight, and then I remember him saying he was on the Show Me the Money pod or something, and he was saying that he wanted Paul Craig, but Craig is currently involved in a current fight right now that he has signed, but he didn't know who the opponent was, so I guess it was Bo Nickal in the end. But I would have loved to see Meetschaert get that fight, but I like the Bo Nickal fight kind of better for Craig. It's just a bit more. It's a bit more interesting because again, it makes sense for Nickal. But Meetschaert is going to be the test and the opening guy in the UFC for former one championship double champion in the middleweight and the light heavyweight division. Again, I'm not going to be that guy that even tries to fake it to y'all that I know much about this guy. You know what I mean? But it seems a bit disrespectful to have former one champ, especially double champ on the Apex. And again, an unranked opponent. Not to take anything away from Meetschaert, do not get me wrong. He's been around the game for a very long time. Very impressive, especially as of late. Good wins as of late for Meetschaert. So it's like, it's just this fucking Apex, dude, all right? Whenever I feel like you're in the Apex, it just feels like it's just to like a lesser degree, man. Can you blame me? I mean, I don't know. Anyways, so that's that fight, man. Yeah, I feel like a fucking casual, but had to spread the word to you guys. Up next, okay, now we can get into UFC 310. We have 3 fights that were announced for this card and one that has been heavily rumored. Let me get the rumored one out the way. So the rest of these fights have been announced and confirmed, or maybe not announced, but they have been confirmed. All of them except for this one. This is Nick Diaz versus Vicente Luque. Luque is rumored for UFC 310. Because it's not confirmed, I'm not really going to talk about it much. I just kind of wanted to throw out there. There's some pretty legit sources that have been saying that this fight could be going down. It's kind of in the works for 310. That's the date that they want to rebook it. I just don't really care about this fight. It doesn't make any sense. I would have liked Luque to fight someone outside the top 15 a little bit, like that 15-20 range, or get someone in the top 15 at least. You know what I mean? Like, Luque is still in this. I know lately it has not been all great, but just to get Nick Diaz, I don't know. I feel like we're just going to see Diaz get cooked, which is going to hurt. Not to take anything away from him, but we all saw the last performance, dude. Nick Diaz's career just sucks, man. He got fucked. He got fucked up bad, and now we're here, and it is sad. This fight makes no fucking sense. It's rumor for 310. I don't know, dude. Anyways, so for the fights that are actually confirmed, let me see what I got up next here. Okay, so let's just get this one out the way. So we have Chase Hooper versus Clay Guida. This is a random ass matchup, dude. This is the most random fucking fight. Like, when I just saw that this was locked in, I was like, what the fuck, dude? So I'm a Hooper fan, so I fuck with the guy. And I love his performances as of late. He's finally kind of strayed away from just being the Ben Askren lookalike and kind of like the nice, awkward guy who's here to have a fun little time. Not to say he is still not that in a lot of regards, but he has had an aggressive edge as of late. When he steps in the fucking cage, and he's made it clear, like, I want to be taken a lot more, like, menacing. I kind of want to be a bit more of a threat. And he's had a lot more experience as of late. Like, I know. I mean, can you believe that his performance on the Contender Series was 2018? You know? Seems like the guy, I mean, he looks like a fetus. It seems like, again, he was just born yesterday. Jesus. In the UFC, I mean, probably should have started with that part. But I mean, especially his last 2 wins, dude. And that fight against Levitt, dude, like, to see him just get the fuck after it from the go. And I mean, the last performance of him just showing incredible ground and pound over the last performance. It was also the St. Louis card with Borshev. Like, that was a first-degree murder. I mean, let me look at the fight stats real here for that one, because I remember the guy didn't even throw anything. Yeah. The significant strike, the total strikes were 129 from Hooper to 2. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because I remember, I'm talking about it, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I remember that just being total fucking domination. And 6 minutes of control time from Hooper. I love the aggressive edge that he's been taking lately. Clay Guida is another one of those kind of gatekeepers for the division. Been around for a very, very long time in the game. And all due respect to him, a super entertaining fighter. You know, like whenever Clay Guida gets a fight, I'm not like, oh, it's Clay Guida. You know, like it's a Clay Guida fight. You know what I mean? And for the age he's at and for how long he's been around, he's a relatively active fighter still to this day. You know, fights still about twice a year. So I'm looking at this record. It is a lot of gray. Been losing a lot as of late. I really didn't realize it was this bad. All right. So I don't know what the odds are going to be for this one, but I would assume that Hooper is going to be a pretty sizable favorite. I'm not talking minus 300 or some shit. You know what I mean? I'm not shitting on Guida by any means, but Hooper just has the momentum on his side, the age on his side. He's just looking so good as of late, and Guida has not. And looking at the guys that have been beating Guida, the last few years, not to say he hasn't fought some killers, but I just think this is like, looking at the guys that have beaten him, Chase Hooper is in that crowd. You know what I mean? I like this fight. It doesn't make a ton of sense. I mean, it kind of does, kind of, sort of. I don't know. I mean, like, I would have liked to see kind of a little bit of a bigger opponent for Hooper, but considering who he has fought in the past, this is still kind of a step up in some regards. You know what I mean? I mean, his biggest performances kind of before this, or opponents. I mean, Jordan Levitt, Steve Garcia, Alex Casares. I mean, other than that, so Clay Guida is a recognizable name for a lot. So, yeah, I like this fight. Up next, we got Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev, rebooked from UFC 307, which is upcoming next weekend, to UFC 310, December 7th. I really like this fight, to be honest. I think it just is the right fight to make for both guys. Like, it's a winnable fight for both guys. We're going to see elite grappling exchanges. It's probably just going to be... it depends on who you ask, but we're going to get a more or less entertaining version of what we just saw a few weekends ago with Burns versus Brady. It depends who you ask. If you don't fuck with these guys, you're probably going to say this is going to be the most boring fight of all time. And I don't blame you, dude. These guys are decision machines. Less so Sterling. Not that Evloev hasn't had entertaining fights, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, these guys are decision machines, but I am excited for it. Fucking shoot me in the foot, dude. It's just the right fight to make for both guys. We're gonna see elite grappling are on display. If Sterling wins, he's right up there to get a title eliminator next, and if Evloev wins, I would say the same. I feel like they're gonna give Lopez the edge in regards to like how close he's gonna be from the title shot, because Lopez is more active, more exciting, young prospect, something new. Not to take anything away from Sterling or Evloev, because those guys are fucking monsters, and I wouldn't be surprised if either one of the two gets a title shot, especially with a good win over one another. But yeah, I think each of these guys, whoever wins this, is going to get a title eliminator. I think they're going to do Lopez versus Volk, or just give Volk or Lopez the title shot. I think that's... Featherweight is just in a log jam right now because of the Volk situation, so they got to figure all that out. Again, I like this fight, and I'm glad it's rebooked relatively quickly. I mean, December's right around the corner. It's sad, and yeah, it's kind of sad to say, Jesus. But yeah, excited for that one. Also, assuming this is going to be a co-main of sorts, we have Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. This has also been rebooked. This was going to be for 308, and now it is for 310. This is a great fight, dude. Again, pretty much what I said about the last one in regards to the fact that this is the right fight to make for both guys. Sergey fucking Spivak, dude. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the records here. I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. Sergey Spivak. That's what I thought his last opponent was. I'm glad I didn't botch that one. Yeah, not to say it's not an impressive win, but for that to be the bounce back, I understand that it was kind of a relatively quick turnaround, so respect on that regards. And I'm not saying it's easy to just walk over Sergey Spivak. Sergey Spivak, he's a great fighter. Fucking. But the Jones performance was just embarrassing, dude. I mean, I understand that the Ngannou fight was infinitely more intriguing, but I thought this was going to be competitive, man. Gane is still a motherfucker in there. You know what I mean? I know he's out there making movies and shit now, but Gane is like in it. You know what I mean? He's a young guy. Still, he moves so swift in there. He's got power in those hands, but he has such precision and speed, especially for heavyweight. Wouldn't really call him a prospect anymore. I mean, he's had multiple title opportunities, but like he belongs in this top 5 of the division, man. He's elite, and I'm glad that he got Volkov, because I think Volkov is on a fucking tear right now. I think Volkov is gonna win this fight, to be honest. I know Gane won the first fight, but I don't think this one's going to a decision again. I know it did the first time, but I think we're gonna see a finish here. I don't know how Volkov is gonna take it. Let's see Volkov. Okay, yeah, 4-fight win streak, which I love for that, man. And that last performance, too, he shut Pavlovich the fuck down. I had money on Pavlovich for that one. That was one of those fights where I had like a gut feeling Volkov was going to win, but I was like, no, I'm not trusting those odds. So I went with Sergey by fucking knockout. And Volkov just picked him apart. He did not. He frustrated the fuck out of Pavlovich, and he just kept him swinging for the fences. He did land a couple of times, actually, and Volkov admitted that he rocked him, but no, he held on, and he just completely outclassed them. Impressive wins as well over Rosenstruck, Romanov, and Tuivasa, who are all big names right now in the top 10 of the heavyweight division. Tuivasa, not so much, so take that with a grain of salt. But, yeah, Volkov's been looking great since the loss to Aspinall, and I'm looking at, okay, so Gane lost to Jones March of 23, and had a, good win over Spivak, but we kind of need to see a bit more of him. That has been about a year ago. It's going to be 15 months for Gane from his last fight. And then you have Volkov, who has fought twice in 2023, and this is going to be his second fight of 2024. So he's active as shit right now. I think Volkov has the momentum, and I think my point with that was seeing how each of those guys has bounced back after that big loss to elite, the champion and interim champion, in Jones and Aspinall. So I just like how Volkov has bounced back. I think he's going to learn more from the first fight. And I think Gane, he's been out here making movies and shit, dude. And I understand that fighters are humans and you can do multiple things while training to be a fighter. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. I'm excited for this fight. It makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I don't think this is going to a decision this time. The last fight that I have to talk about, actually, and then you guys can stop listening to this fucking rambling, is Manel Kape versus Bruno Silva. Kape is returning from the flyweight division. Man, that last Mokaev fight, yeah, that was depressing. I'm glad Mokaev is kind of out of the UFC. Not because he was just a boring as shit fighter, but dude, that guy caused shit backstage a lot. He caused a lot of trouble behind the fucking scenes, and he's only 23. You know what I mean? Like, the reason why I think it's okay is because if this guy goes out there at Brave FC and he gets 3, 4, 5 like good wins, like I'm not just fucking sitting on your face kind of wins, like I'm trying to actively go for finishes, like, because if you want to have a grappling heavy style, that's fucking fine, you know what I mean? If you don't want to watch that shit, go to kickboxing. But it's like, dude, he just never tried to advance with anything. He never tried, even on the feet, to really like do anything big. And it's just like, if he goes out there and he gets some knockouts, if he gets some subs, if he gets some great ground and pound, if he really fucking displays his skills to the people in an entertaining and convincing way. And again, I'm not trying, like, dude, he's an insane prospect, okay? He's super fucking talented. And he beat a lot of the names in the flyweight division. And again, if he was just liked more backstage by the bosses and by the fans, he would have had a title shot by now. You know what I mean? But he's gone, and I'm here to talk about Manel Kape. It sucks because Kape he was on a roll, you know? He was supposed to be the guy that was like making flyweight a little bit more fun again, besides obviously you have like guys like Moreno, but you know what I mean? he was on a 4-fight win streak, and then that kind of got put to a halt. So it's very unfortunate, but I like that he's trying to fight again, because a lot of people were complaining how inactive Kape was. He has so much potential, but he fights once a year, and it kind of sucks. Not when he first started, but as of late, kind of the once a year gig. And then we have here in Bruno Silva, 4-2 in the UFC, 4-2 in the UFC, 4-fight win streak, all by finish. So I don't really like this matchup for Kape, especially after getting shut down. But the fact that he's turning around, kind of showing, a bit more investment, which I like. Let's hope there's no pullouts for this one. It's an interesting fight. This is for December. I don't know if I said this, but it's for December 14th for the UFC Fight Night Miami card. This is an alright fight to make, and I am excited for it, especially to see the return of Kape, and to see if Silva can extend that streak to 5 and kind of get a crack at the top 5 now. Yeah, we got a nice flyweight matchup, which we need right now. Guys, this was my first episode of the All the Smoke MMA show, first episode of the pod. If it was a lot of yapping and a lot of dipshit nonsense, I apologize, but I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Again, hopefully in the future we can get some longer episodes going. This is kind of perfect. I kind of wanted it to end around 35, 40. Those are all the latest fights that have been announced, man, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for any hot takes, but it is what it fucking is. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. All the Smoke MMA. We're in for a really nice UFC Paris card tomorrow. This will probably be uploaded after that. Not sure how that one's going to go, but I'm really excited for it. And then we have the almighty UFC 307. The Raquel Pennington co-main. Let's fucking go, guys. Shoot me. Peace out. Much love. Thanks for tuning in, friends.